Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. James Hicks here from Hicks Media Infotainment News. Welcome to another edition of IT and Live. Uh, I got a very special guest. I say that all the time, but look, all of my guests are special. Special to me, and I hope that they're special to you as well. This guy right here, I used to work for. So he's definitely a mentor to me. He's quality guy, quality man. He packed his bags. He moved from California. Heck, he moved from the United States, and he landed himself in Costa Rica. That was about 6 years ago, and since then he settled in. He started a couple of businesses, which we're going to talk about while I've got him on the screen here: Eco Oasis Costa Rica and Regenerative Living Vacation Rentals. He's definitely living his best life now. I just wanted to, borrow some time from him today, talk a little about making those moves, starting over fresh, kind of the master plan for his businesses, and the fact that I'm just going to say it, he's winning in all aspects of life, personally and professionally, and like they say in Costa Rica, Pura Vida. Hopefully, I said that right, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Cartmill. Kevin, how you living,
Hey,
brother?
hey,
Look at
let's
him.
do this, James.
Oh,
How you doing?
I can't stop smiling just
Uh,
because I see you, and I know you're halfway across the globe right now. Just to see your smiling face really is a breath of fresh air for me right now. It's been a tough week, but how you been, man?
yeah, likewise, brother. It feels really, really good to be here to see you. And I know things are a little bit tough there in Cali, but nice to take a little break here from it all and catch
Yeah,
up and see where we're both at.
yes, sir, yes, sir. So, in the end, so has it been? It's been 6 years or so, right? That you packed the bags and flew on over there to Costa Rica.
Yeah, it'll be 6 years in December. Like I guess I moved down right before Christmas. Um, yeah, 6 years ago, so five and a
Okay.
half years ago. So
Oh,
yeah, and
and
I
and, and
wasn't.
no, I was gonna say, and then at times, so you every time I see your pictures online, you don't have any clothes on, right? So just to find a promo picture for the marketing that I put out there, I'm like, look, is there any shot with Cartmill that's got at least a shirt on? But that's a sign of just living that good life. Talk to us a little bit about what you do in your time. I know you've got the businesses, but talk to us about your free time, your spare time. Yeah, you're living in 100% what I would consider a paradise. But tell us what a day in the life of Kevin Cartmill.
Hmm. Yeah, the the one of the biggest commodities we have here in Costa Rica is time, and it's time to do what you want and to dedicate yourself to well-being and living well and to joy. So my it took me a while. I wasn't a morning person most of my life, but since coming to Costa Rica, I've adapted, and now I pretty much live my life sunrise to sunset. So we're up pretty early. The howler monkeys and the toucans make sure that you don't sleep in very much past sunrise. And you know, I usually do some meditation before I get out of bed. Start my day off right with the right mindset. And Susan and I have developed a yoga practice. We've got a yoga deck out in front of our bedroom, so we start out with that, and then depending on the day, we do some long beach walks about 3 times a week where we do like 10K in the sand and get the day started that way. And the other days, I'm developing a little mini finca here, little mini farm. um, I've got fish ponds and a greenhouse and chicken coop and stuff like that. So I have a worker that's been helping me because we just moved in here in January, so I've had to kind of tame a little bit of the wildness and
Hmm.
do some planting of butterfly bushes. I'm planting a lot of things that are like beneficial pollinator
Okay.
attractors. So um, we're doing a planting. I've planted more than 1,000 plants already on my property. We've
Wow.
planted I've got 30 different types of fruit trees. I've got several different kinds of hardwoods and rare hardwoods that we're planting. So I cut my time between, um, sort of wellness and then chop wood, carry water is what we call the farming part of it. And then I dedicate a couple of hours to some businesses that I have running that kind of they're a little bit self-managed. If you pick good people around you, you know how that is.
Yeah.
You are one of those good people
Mm.
that I've worked with before,
Thank you,
and
sir.
it just makes life so much easier when you have good people working for you. So I am involved with a vacation rental. I bought a condo kind of on the spur of the moment. I was looking for a place to live, and I thought it was just going to rent. And when I got there, I was like, "Wow, that that's a view. That's a view right there. How
I
much
want
do
that.
I want that?" And so they were, kind of fixer uppers. So it was a good time to buy. And I had a construction company, so um, we fixed them up, and now their rentals they're doing really well. They're thriving quite well. Yeah, even a little bit, big hit this year with the pandemic, but before that, they were just like 90% booked year round. So
Okay.
really incredible occupancy, and yeah, so that worked out well.
And you've got a
And
couple of those, right? I mean, you've got one, and the ones that the pictures that I'm showing of the offering, you've got two locations, right?
yeah, they're actually above each other, so they're
Okay.
one on top of each other. Yeah, this is the studio, the picture of the studio, and that's the view, and that
That's a
off to the
terrible
left.
view. That's a
Yeah,
terrible
yeah.
view.
And they're kind of just cozy, simple places. We renovated them just to be very clean, open, simple, so that, you don't feel uncluttered. You don't feel like it's somebody else's, space. It's kind of
Yeah.
like you get to come in there and take it. Has a really big porch. That king size bed is huge. It doesn't really show. Oh, that was a queen size. This is now the upstairs unit.
Okay.
So yeah, so they're nice. They're in a really, really, really good location. And Manuel Antonio is the most visited national park in Costa Rica. Costa Rica has about, oh man, I forget now how much of the land. 25% of it is national parks, and Manuel Antonio there in Capos is the most visited one. So it was really fortuitous that I bought there, because it's like the place everybody goes to when they come to Costa Rica, and it's really well set up for couples. And
Awesome.
that was really the intent, was to, you know, families are nice, but there are also a lot of wear and tear on the
Yeah.
properties, and sometimes it's easier to find things as a family and harder to find Airbnbs as a couple. You tend to have to go to hotels, and the hotels are much more expensive, right? So
True.
yeah,
Hey, look, I've done the bread and breakfast thing with you before, right? So
yeah,
we can flash back to good old Amber House, but what's crazy is that Jen and I have wanted to come to Costa Rica and come stay at one of your properties, and we will. Once the world opens back up, we will definitely come and stay there. And I want you to do the same thing like you did for my 40th birthday. I'd love for you to come up to the room in your slippers, bringing some breakfast or something, and so we can break bread again together. We will
yeah.
never forget that. That was an amazing time, and appreciate you for opening up that place to us. If I haven't already told you about that before.
Oh yeah, that was a fun time. That is one of my top memories, actually, from the old Amber House, was that party. It was like, it was a great reunion
Yeah.
with a lot of great folks that we all used to work with, and met some new folks. And yeah, yeah, I had to show up with breakfast. Well, this place is a little more like self serve, but we'll figure something out. If you're in the country and you're staying with me, we're definitely going to break bread. That's for
We'll,
sure.
we'll figure something out because the whole time that we were planning this. So folks, I'm trying to get in touch with Kevin. Hey, I'm out at happy hour. Well, dude, when are you not at happy hour? Well, I'm not, or I'm out on the beach. You're living that life. What does I've heard it and I said it, but what does Pura Vida mean? Why does it seems like that just resonates as just a mindset for Costa Rica? But what does that kind of embody
It,
for you?
yeah, Pura Vida is really the reason I'm in Costa Rica. And you know, I guess in the States we have, in Hawaii, you have aloha. And
Hmm.
aloha is like a spirit, right? It's like you say aloha when you see somebody, hello. You say aloha when they go away. You can say it to mean thank you. I mean, I guess you say mahalo, but it's a word that embodies a lot. So Pura Vida, pure life. And really, I think it stems from it really has, it's significant for the Costa Ricans have a real appreciation. And I use that word like,
Hmm.
as in gratitude, but they have a real appreciation for life. So they have an appreciation for their family, for their friends, for the food they eat, for just going to the beach and having a little party. And life is simple, but it can also be abundant. But it's
Hmm.
not, yes, a little bit of the West or the North in this case is trickling down here, and there are, people acquiring and, getting a little bit more commercial. But for the big part where I am, it's really about appreciating life's gifts
Hmm.
and what life brings you. And I think, one of the best things about this pandemic is from an outsider looking in at the States, it sort of feels like, in some ways, Americans are starting to appreciate
Yeah,
the simpler things in life, right?
that's a good point. That's a good point.
You're home with your family, you're having dinners, you're doing more Zooms, with different family members, with friends from college or whatever it is. And it seems like, it took a pandemic to get you to realize that, like, those basic things are really, really the keys to happiness. And there's a reason why Costa Rica is perennially and on various different lists as being one of the happiest places on the planet. And I think they are really appreciative of what they have. So Pura Vida, you use it like this. If you go into a store, you say Pura Vida. When you're leaving, you say Pura Vida. If somebody says, "Oh, gracias," you say Pura Vida. Um, you just say it all the time. It's really like it's an everything phrase, and it really just means, gratitude, like appreciation.
I love that. I love that. And I like I kind of was saying behind the scenes. Yeah, I told you my unfortunate situation from my family this past week, but that whole concept, this I had to have this conversation. I had to have this conversation with you because you're someone I trust. You're someone who I admire, and this is healing. Selfishly, this is healing for me, right? To have this conversation with you, and I really believe that you're correct, right? Unfortunately, it took the world to stop and the world to go through what we are going through now from all different aspects to appreciate one another. So appreciate the folks in our homes, appreciate our folks within our sphere of influence, our extended family, and things of that. That's unfortunate, but if there's any blessing to being locked down, is that again, yeah, we're having these conversations. I still would have reached out to you, brother, but I think I think it is causing other folks to do that as well.
Yeah,
Talk a little bit
yeah,
about Eco Oasis because we talked about the Airbnbs, but
yeah.
I know you're incredibly passionate about that. But talk to me about what that means and what you guys are doing with the Eco Oasis.
So Eco Oasis was, sort of born out of, necessity, or
Hmm.
is a reaction. I came down here with the idea of joining an eco village that was already being developed. Okay, and when I had come down a few years ago, I had spoke um, with the guy who was the developer of the eco village, and he sounded like he was legit. He sounded like he had the right passion and the um, right understanding of permaculture and some other things. Well, when I got down here, when I finally moved down here and took a closer look under the hood, I didn't see what I wanted to see. I think I had maybe wishful thinking when I was looking at it from afar, but I realized that they weren't doing what I really wanted to do. And the idea. So then, I went back to my hotel and said, yeah, if that guy can do it the wrong way, I think I can do it the right way. And so I started to look for resources, and I found some really, really good permaculturalists here who, we found a good builder, and we put together a little team, and we created this kind of regenerative neighborhood. So we took it was a sugarcane farm, which is really, really destroys the soil. Sugarcane, and you feed it a bunch of chemicals in order to get it to grow. And it had gone fallow, so it hadn't been planted on for 20, 30 years, and it was overgrown. And we took it and we regenerated it. We've now created 5 turnkey kind of permaculture homesteads, and luckily for me, 5 friends all bought them. So I have my own dream neighborhood here where everybody has their own house. We do have pools because we want to live the good life. Maybe the least eco thing about it, but it's also they look really cool and they're fun to swim in. But everybody has a fish pond for tilapia, greenhouse, chicken coop. Everybody has their own fruit forest and a lot of other just kind of walking edibles. Plants that you can just pick and munch when you're walking along. We call it, walk through fast food. So the idea was to create these permaculture um, homesteads, and they're all kind of integrated. So when you drain the fish pond to clean it out, it drains into your garden to
Okay.
feed your garden. You know, um, the fruit forest is got all these beneficial pollinators that are growing in and amongst all the fruits. There's Rosa vetiver and Flamengia, which are used for chop and drop to add nitrogen and nitrogen fixing for the fruit trees. So there's a lot of thought that goes into it. It's all like these little subsystems, and you're a systems guy, so it's kind of cool how when you can make nature and use nature to have everything kind of work more efficiently and
Right.
work with nature instead of against nature, and so that really became the idea here. And now we've been really lucky where we hooked up with one of the best architects in the country, and he's building sort of the centerpiece home in the neighborhood right now. Um, Studio Sachs, they're in Architectural Digest and Dwell magazine, and they're kind of a famous design house. But so our neighborhood now has kind of a famous, or will be a famous building in the middle of it. So it's a really beautiful house with a huge courtyard, and yeah, it couldn't have worked out better. Everything's always working out well for me, but this neighborhood really couldn't have worked out better. I have a beautiful location for my house. I sit on a ridge about 200 feet up above a valley that's called the Valley of Horses, which is mostly trees with like a few farms with horses, white horses. Below it, so it's very picturesque. We look over at some small mountains and a couple of ocean views, peekaboo ocean views. We're up at 500 feet, so we can grow
Okay.
everything. It's very cool here. We have a lot of breezes. So really, really, really fortunate. So the idea with Eco Oasis is to regenerate places that have gone fallow, that are not producing food, to create abundance, and then to share that abundance.
Look, I'm just gonna. As you said all that, you notice I stopped on this image right here
Yeah,
because that's it right there, right? That sums it all up in terms of the what and the why. You just told us the how, but this
yeah,
this is this is the reason right here, and you say it's going to get even a degree better or more higher scale than this. You see, my wife has already liked the page, right? You see that right there. So I got a feeling
Yeah.
that we will be on a flight one of these days to come check you out. So that's exciting.
Yeah, and that is a great photo to like that's it, man. That's what it's all about. At the end of the day, you kind of just sit and enjoy this tapestry that changes and every night that sky is different. It's always beautiful,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's a storm out at sea that's beautiful. Sometimes it's the most bright, brilliant sky that you can ever imagine. I mean, we've all seen them, but it's just like it's a moving tapestry, and it's just, I'm very grateful to be able to enjoy that every night, every night that I want to.
Again, man, this has been more, like I say, kind of healing and therapeutic for myself because I wanted to have this discussion. But just to see that you are, again, living that best life from a first, personal and professional perspective warms my heart completely. And the fact that, what you're doing with the Eco Oasis, bringing in the community, building the community, making the community self-sustaining, not reliant on any external forces, but actually living off the land and having, as you say, the walking paths that you can, the munch and walks. I mean, that's incredible. That's amazing. You've
So
got the, yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, so I just wanted to quickly, while we were on that vein, is so this was really nice, right? But it's sort
Yeah.
of out of the reach for most ticos, as Costa Ricans are called ticos,
Okay.
and it's a little bit out of the reach, right? These are nice houses. They're a little bit bigger land, they're ocean views. So the next plan that we are working on with my architects and builders are to create micro farms. So we feel like you could just develop a neighborhood, and it could be a smaller neighborhood, like where, these are all 2.5, 3 acre farms, okay? But let's just say we could actually put 30 or 40 houses here to make them more affordable. We can still do it with chicken houses and greenhouses and using vertical gardens and using the fruit forest as boundaries between the houses, but then there's just the fruit that's between them. So we're working on a new concept that is more approachable and more achievable for the locals. So not just to make it, hey, for rich gringos to be able to enjoy this place, but also to to pass to pass this on to ticos, because Pura Vida used to mean that people used to have the time to have a little mini farm. Everybody had chickens running around their yard. Everybody had fruit trees. Everybody grew their own this and that.
Yeah.
But now with processed foods,
Yeah.
leaking down from the United States, well, people here are grabbing them too, and so the idea will be to return to sort of the Pura Vida and to make it more accessible to locals. So the next projects are going to be smaller scale,
Yeah.
but every bit as nutritious, every bit as permaculture, every bit as, and even more clever how the systems will work with the rain catchments and with the solars and with all these different things that we're learning about now. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that on there to tag it onto the Eco Oasis.
Yeah. So let me ask. So let me pivot off of that a little bit and just ask kind of the third person looking in question. Are you seeing any resistance from the locals are already on the island in terms of what you're doing? Bringing about this whole master plan type of community, or are you getting good buy-in?
Really good buy-in,
Okay.
really, really. I think, everybody's at a litmus, right? Everybody's at a tipping point right now as far as what's real and what's not real. And I think most of the people outside of the very central valley where San Jose is, where, you know, cars, traffic, typical city kind of life. Um, Everybody here is kind of, hey, yeah, we should be growing our own food again. We should be doing more of this. But the resistance is when they look at these places and they're like, oh, yeah, your house is amazing. Like, yeah, how much does that cost, you know? And it's like, well, it's, I have a pretty simple house. We can do even more simple houses that are just equally as nice. And so that's what's kind of the impetus around doing developments that are for everyone, not
Hmm.
just not the gringos, right?
I
And there
love it.
are always going to be those people that come down here with sort of their foreigner baggage,
Yeah.
right? And their foreigner attitude, and they're not going to be as well received. But if, for me, I've lived in different cultures. I lived in China, I've lived in Asia, I've
Yeah.
lived in different places. So, I try to come with as little baggage as I can, adopt, from the cultures here as much as I can, and then, impart a little bit of that whole worldview, right? I mean, I do have the benefit of having been around the world. So
Yeah.
when you talk to a farmer and you can kind of give a little bit of that to them, um, then they can see that there's a lot more possibilities. And that's really the goal.
Yeah. That's what I kind of one of the things I was going to say. You've been there, done that, right? You've been around the world from high level executive corporate positions, and yeah, like you said, yeah, you've traveled all across the globe. You've got more stamps in your passport probably than you know what to do with, but and know how to engage and interact with people, right? All different personalities, all different cultures. So you've been there, done that, and you know how to be personable, sociable, and not come in as that angry or overbearing Westerner who's coming to take over. So I think you're going to succeed. I know you're going to succeed because you already are succeeding, and I can tell it in your eyes, in your face, and again the fact that every time I see you got a great drink in your hand, and you're not wearing any shirts. So you don't have any pants anymore, do you? You just wear shorts all day, right? Tell the
I
truth.
do. I do wear shorts pretty much every day. Sometimes when I'm out in the jungle though, I do wear long pants because that's the one thing here is like nature is real here, man. It is real. You go for a walk in the jungle here, you are like you are food,
Yeah.
you. So I do wear pants from time to time. I put on my best t-shirt.
Yeah,
I
look at
put
that. Let me zoom in on that. Look at that. He's got some new shirt on for us and everything. Okay,
Yeah,
appreciate you there.
yeah. It's
You
got that
know.
nice wicking
Oh
material,
my gosh. Yeah. When we get done, you're going to go jump in the pool or the ocean, aren't you? Tell the truth.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go in the pool. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I love it, man.
I'm gonna go to the ocean in the morning. We get up and we do our morning constitution. Uh, yeah, get up early, bring the dogs, go to the beach, take a walk. It's really nice. You're there. You get all the ozone. You get the
Yeah.
waves. You get some vitamin D. You get grounding from the sand, and you get a little elevated heart rate. It's like I counted one time like 15 benefits just from going for a walk on the beach, right? So hard to beat that for a workout.
Just the little things again. If you because you're taking the time and doing it, and you're taking care of yourself mentally and physically. Kev, man, I can't say how much I appreciate you, man. And just, again, selfishly, I just wanted to see your face. And this is pretty cool, right? California, Costa Rica, and we got a little live streaming access going here.
Yeah.
I normally ask folks kind of a last question about technology because again you're right, I'm the technologist and I still live in that world, but I don't know how you can probably answer that now because you unplug quite a bit now. I would ask, what is the leading piece of technology that you're using on a regular basis to maintain life or to maintain what it is that you do from a business perspective? What's your go-to piece of technology?
You know, it's the phone. I pretty much WhatsApp is the big app here, so
Okay.
nobody really uses cell. Everybody uses WhatsApp,
Okay.
and it's sort of the technology. I still would say that I'm using technology, but I'm using it in sort of home systems kind of way, right? So we're using uh, solar on the
Mm.
houses, but we're using like a combination system. So we might run our 220, like, so if you had a jacuzzi or your dryer, we'll run that off the grid. And
Hmm.
the grid here is 99% renewable anyway, because we have so much hydro and so much
Okay.
solar and wind. But we connect in there. Then our houses will have solar energy to run most of your day-to-day things, your refrigerator and other things. And then we have these systems that automatically detect where your battery's at, and it will kind of prioritize what's being used and what's being done. So it's kind
Okay.
of like a lot more home tech. We're using a lot more, introducing a lot more smart home technology, and
Interesting.
how we can control the house, and we actually can measure our house and how efficient it is and how inefficient it is. And then we can make tweaks to the designs on architecture, adding louvers here and there, shades here and there,
Okay.
positioning the house here and there. So we are still doing some tech, not quite the tech like you're using, but it's hard to deny that it doesn't help. Even just work with nature, when you
Yeah.
can measure things more easily. Then we track the sun, right? So we have trackers that use the sun and track the sun to see what's going on for
Mm.
cooling and for um, energy generation. So I would say tech is in the home. It's more
Yeah.
like that type of thing. How it helps us with well-being and sustainability, and that's really how I want to see tech go, is how does
Yeah.
it help people? Well, I'm kind of inspired by these Aura rings and
Yeah.
some of the fitness tractors. I think Apple's planning on doing an upgrade with like sleep is
Yep.
super important, and I want to start to track my sleep and find out how I can do better on sleep. And that's my big thing now is longevity. And I think and it's not like, oh, I want to live forever. I just want to live however long I live really well. No
Nice. I love that.
medications, and you know, I'm using food as my medicine in a way. Just eat right, exercise the right amount, exercise, uh, properly, and technology can help us, right? Aura ring, it tests your
Yeah.
HRV and your sleep and all these kind of things. And I think it's going to get better and better. Like, why can't it just be on your ear? Or I don't necessarily want something on my hand. Or we have stuff on our wrist and we're used to it now, but eventually I think we could have sugar monitors to tell you when your glucose spikes and
Hmm.
how you might be ready for the day. So I like to see technology go more towards the wellness, and I think it is. I think
Yeah.
that's a trend.
Awesome. Awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
I agree with you 100% on that, especially on the cleaner nutrition, right? I mean, that's definitely the route to go. But I know you got some technology in the house. I know you got some type of dubstep or some old East Coast break beats going. Look, I know you. I know you some Beastie Boys or you got your Spotify, your Apple Music going. So you can't tell me
Yeah.
that that's not happening, brother.
That's
Um,
true. That's true. A lot of Spotify all
there you
day
go.
long.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can't go without the music.
No.
Kev, I appreciate you, man. Hey, go enjoy the rest of your day. I'm coming to see you. It's just gonna happen. I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay in your room there. I'm gonna eat your food.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rototill your land or whatever you need me to do, brother.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. You're a special man, and I thank you for what you're doing. Excited for Eco Oasis. I'm excited for the Airbnbs you have as well. Just what you're doing. As you've landed there in Costa Rica, you seem to be doing phenomenally well and doing everything the right way. So
Mm.
my appreciation to you, my love to you, and respect, brother.
Yeah. And my love back to you, and good luck with all that you're dealing with up there with
Yeah,
pandemics and the fire, and wow, my heart was broken too. So just remember, regenerate, regenerate, regenerate,
I love
and
it.
create those memories going forward.
Thank you, sir.
All
Appreciate
right.
you. Y'all, we
Peace.
out.
Bye.